Okay, 1914, good luck. So we've not played before, no head-to-head score, play the normal Caro. 25,000 games of rapid for opponent, that's impressive, isn't it? I've done just coming up to 900. Now, pawn takes is the correct book move here, so that's what we'll play. Sometimes I go with the queen just to get out of that more standard theory that little bit earlier. I think I'm going to take that. I don't want to allow the pawn push. I'm just going to try and castle and then worry about what to do. So develop in case the bishop comes down. Right, and now we just have to figure out how to develop. We can do this and this, or this and this. Knight up. We could play h6. Well, I guess we do play h6 now he's done that. I don't think he'll take. I think he'll drop back. Oh, he has taken. I did not expect that. Oh, he's happy to trade everything. Now, I could take the knight first. Do I give up the bishop pair? I actually quite like knights myself, but if I take here, if you take, I'm fine just to take back. It messes my structure up a bit, but here, knight in is a bit more annoying. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of that knight. Oh, he's just taken straight back. Okay. I'll get rid of that advanced pawn, and I want to keep the queen on if I can. So where do we go? It's trading everything. I mean, I could play a knight up and see if he literally trades everything off, but... let's develop our queen though, maybe. Go here, hit the pawn. Maybe develop something like this. Not sure where yet. Okay, let's develop our bishop, hit the knight. Maybe get the knight up. He's playing it crazy fast. I mean, he's not using any thinking time whatsoever. He's not thinking about anything, is he? The move times must be crazy quick. Check them after the game like we do with every game. No real threat here. I mean, knight across is more an irritation, isn't it? It's well guarded, the knight. You can kick the bishop back. It's more an irritating move. Otherwise, I might just try and get the rook somewhere into the centre. I'm not quite sure where yet, if we want literally the centre or the c-file. Get the cursor off the board so there's no accidental slips. Okay, so he's played queen up to break that pin. So we could trade, go back, and then up, or here. You've got queen takes. And maybe just a cross. That's probably quite nice for us, actually. Problem is, I don't see anything better. I'm going to take. Depends if he goes with queen or bishop. If he goes with bishop, he's kind of inviting us forward to trade that as well. But I think the pawn structure should be quite good for us. That's what he's done. Okay, so he's inviting us to trade the knight and the bishop as well. He's trying to just trade everything off the board, but it feels like it should be alright for us. He just got to put his queen on a sensible square. Guess it doesn't really matter where the bishop covers the check. So we're just probably going to play knight takes bishop, pretty much whatever he does. And then try and get the rooks across and target here. What? Oh, I've missed a tactic. I've missed something, not paying attention, haven't I? Ooh, that's careless. I wasn't paying attention, I've missed something. Literally just playing too quick and not paying attention. Okay, that's going to be a bit of a problem. I'm going to have to get the rook behind the pawn. I just wasn't focused there at all. That's a little bit careless. So this could and maybe should be just simply losing now. I'm going to try and blockade this pawn. Now, if I go here, obviously right now I can't, can I just lose it? So let's go on the dark square and try and form a blockade. He's going to have to try and use the rook on one of these files to shift us, or to put pressure on this pawn. But I mean, we can maybe try and create a counter punch. It's whether we can win one of these pawns or whether we're doomed. Are we just doomed? But I'd like to put a rook along here somewhere, so do I risk that? I can go here directly and he might have to defend, but that's just a move for him. But then I've still got rook up to come across. Here, he could do this or this. Rook up, he doesn't have a check. Yeah, I'm going to go here because he can't go to match it. And I'm going to try and bring the rook across. That's what he's done. I expected that. So I'm going to play rook up. Rook up. If he comes down, I can take. I think that's what he wants. So what about rook up? Rook down. Yeah, let's go right up here just to stop this. He can't check because that's covered either. He's come down, but that's what I expected. So let's come across, guard the pawn, hit the queen. He still can't check here. He could there, and I can step up. Queen back, and I think I've got rook across. Oh, actually no, queen back, then he'd lose this rook. He's got queen back, but his rook's under attack now. He could maybe do it. Lose a rook and then pawn forward to get a rook back. Okay, he's retreated. So can we turn the tables? We can grab a pawn, right, but we're going to lose one, but we hit his rook. So we hit the rook here. The rooks guard each other. That's a bit of a serious threat, though. Okay, he's gone across and doubled up, so he's given us another pawn. Then can we pin here? I think I've got to take it. Now I'm back in the game. Queen up is not a move on the very next move, but it's a serious threat. Rook down is a serious threat. So he's taken. Okay, where's a good square? Maybe back here when we hit the pawn. I don't see anything better. We still covered queen here. We threatened check. Threatening rook up. But at least we're back in the game. We've swapped our pawns out, but it's going to be really tough to win this one. Really, really difficult to try and win a game like this. I think he'd like to do this and go after the king, but it feels like I'm safe-ish. But if we do this in the queen, and it could be really bad. So he's gone back to guard his pawn. So rook up, and we suddenly start having to deal with this again. Rook up could be a move. Do I go here and triple then? Triple attack, and surely he'll have to defend. Yeah, I like the look of that. I think he's going to have to go defensive, at least initially, for a few moves. But I don't see how I unwind my position. I mean, he could maybe go this way, but then it does create check threats. Yeah, he has gone back. Okay. I'm just going to play a holding move while I try and figure something out on my opponent's time. I'm looking at pushing the pawn at the board and giving the king that little breathing square without this pawn pushing up to attack us. So he's still got to try and guard this. 3 attack it, 3 defend it. He's just trying to find holding moves that don't blunder everything. Imagine if he somehow manages to do something like this without collapsing his defense. The king's a bit vulnerable. Otherwise, if I could get the pawn up too and maybe chuck the other pawn up the board and just try and open the defenses up, that could be the broad plan we're aiming for if we can keep this guarded, keep the checkmate threat covered. But it's risk and reward, it's not without danger. Okay, so we've got half a minute on the clock now. We'll try and use it if we can. So he's played queen across to pressure our pawn, but it's no immediate threat unless he's looking at this. So if he comes down, can we take? He can check on either of these. We can go here. So the queen would be either of these. We can step up. He can check. We can block. Yeah, then there's no queen check. And if he takes, we take back with a check, so it's a threat. So I think we can, I think we've got a threat here, so I think we can push on. Because I'm trying to stop this pawn from coming right the way down if we ever get our king forward. So rook down now, I think we're okay to take, so I think we can grab a pawn here. And check here, I think we go here. Check here, I think we just simply block with the rook. But you only have a one mistake away from disaster. That's a false move, nothing else I can do. But check, I think I block. And if he takes with check, I take back with check. And that would just win the game on the spot, because he's going to have to move his king or block, and it's just over now. He just didn't take the time to calculate it, so we've got to be very, very fortunate with this one. Very, very fortunate there. We went wrong in the opening, not paying attention, and then he's just played a bit too quickly and not taking the time to calculate that out. He's certainly strong enough to do so. So very, very fortunate with that. But let's pause and then put it through the analyzer and just see what it was. But we know it was just the pawn that we blundered, not paying attention. Okay, they're the move times for both players. A little bit unusual to make equally tied moves like this in the opening. Just playing a bit too quick there. Okay, but let's just see how we actually played it then. But it's really going to be that pawn blunder that we threw in. And then we've just gotten a little bit lucky at the end there. Yeah, so we're basically okay out of the opening. Then we've thrown a pawn away, and then we've managed to get it back to level at move 26, and then got a little bit of luck. So 95% versus 80% on the accuracy. And our pawn loss was actually not flagged as a blunder. Okay, it's just more an inaccuracy or mistakes. Let's just see. We've just played a normal carro, and we're trying to get our king safe and then worry about what to do, as with all our games. So it was fine to take the knight here. Otherwise, we might get the center of the board a bit overloaded. This was all okay. And this is where I've gone wrong, isn't it? Just not paying attention to this. But knight d4 was actually a fine move. It's still completely level. And what I should have done was traded the queen. Bishop takes... Oh, I've got knight check. I take here, you take here, we take back. I guess, but don't at least still leave me a pawn down. Wouldn't it still leave me a pawn down? Knight check. We take, you take. Oh, we take on a2. I didn't see the extra follow-up taking on a2. And we take a5. So it's similar to structure to what we had, but without all the extra pieces on the board. So it'd actually be maybe more difficult to win this, but our king is a bit closer than the white king. So if we get over first, you never know. But it's still very difficult to win that. Very difficult to win that. But so that's why it wasn't actually a blunder as such. And then we've just tried to blockade our opponent's pawn and find a way to create some counter chances there. Here, I should have checked immediately and done this, but I didn't see a follow-up there either, unless I've maybe got rook across with the queen to come in. Excuse me. It just gives rook to e1 check. It doesn't give any further line. Okay, and then queen should have come across here to potentially pin the rook, so I can't step out of the way. You create that check threat as well. That's a little bit of a problem, isn't it? I might have to play a move like g6 there. That's a bit of a problem if you see queen to d3. +2 for white as well. Now it's back to level. And then the game suddenly turns. We've got that pawn back. And our pawn's a little bit defensive. Yeah, should have dropped the queen all the way back there, and that just loses to the pawn. Again, in this position, should have just taken immediately, because you're not going to lose the piece, are you? So rook takes, queen takes, king up, check, king back, check, king up, then the rook forward, then you check. Wait, what? You just give up the rook there, so it must be really bad. Oh, it is. It's really, really bad. It's actually a forced checkmate in this position. That doesn't look like it to me, but it's a forced checkmate. So you can check here, or you can check basically here, but you lose your queen or your rook, and you can't actually guard it. Okay, so again, it's just not paying attention, not working it out correctly, is it? But so we stumbled into a really good position, even without quite realizing how effective it was. So a good game at my level in the end, having gone wrong in the opening, but it wasn't as bad as I realised if I'd have just found the right moves. But if I hadn't found the right moves, obviously it could easily have been a loss there.